Hello friends, in this video I'll discuss the poem We Are Seven by Wordsworth. So this is a very simple poem, you can enjoy it. So without wasting time, let's begin. We are seven. So we'll begin with the title significance. What does this mean by we are seven, right? Why is this number seven here? Right, so seven is the sign of unity which makes things complete, right? So here in this poem, the writer, the poet Wordsworth, he met a girl, and she says that he asked her, how many are you, brother and sisters? And she replied, we are seven, right? So it's a discussion, we'll see, right? So the rhyming scheme of this poem is A B A B, except the last stanza, right? It's a ballad, right? And genre is concerned, it's a ballad, and ballad is a song, and which narrates a story, right? So it's a song, it's a lyrical, right? And the theme of the major theme here is the theme of death, right? Different theme of death is presented with the perspective of the child, and another is the perspective of the poet, right, the speaker. So we'll see in detail. So it begins like this: a simple child that lightly draws its breath and feels its life in every limb, what should it know of death? So it's a rhetorical question, and it's a poetic device that poet used to ask question that demand no answer, right? He just don't want to listen to the answer or know the answer, he just asks it for the sake of asking, right? Rhetorical question. He said that, oh, a cottage girl, a simple child, what it know, what she knows of death, what death is, she has no concept of death, right? He's saying that. And said, I met a little cottage girl, she was 8 years old. She said her hair was thick with many a curl that clustered round her head, right? So he is giving description of the girl, that the girl was simple girl, a cottage girl, 8 years old, right? And her hair was thick with curl, and which was curl clustered around her head. And further he says that she had a rustic woodland air, and she was wildly clad. Her eyes were fair and very fair, her beauty made me glad, right? So this means that uh, he says that rustic means ruler. So she's a cottage girl, belongs to a rural area, a village girl, right? And her clothing was not awkward, like, right, wildly clad in clothing. And her eyes were fair, beautiful, very beautiful, fair eyes, and her beauty made me glad, made me happy, right? So her repetition of this sound, this is anaphora, literary device is used here, right? And he says that, sister and brothers, little maid, how many may you be, how many, right? He asked her, how many brothers and sisters are you? And she replied, seven in all. She said, and wondering look at me, right? And then, where are they? Then the poet asked, where are they? I pray you tell. She answered, seven are we. Again she said, we are seven, right? And now she describes, she tells that where are they, right? The brothers and sisters. And she says that, and two of us at Conway dwell, right? Two of us live in Conway, right? And two are gone to sea, and two are gone to sea, two siblings are gone to sea, and two of us in the churchyard lay, right? And churchyard is a graveyard, and two of us are lying there, right? So including her, this makes seven, right? For the child, the concept of death doesn't exist, right? Though they are dead, but she considers them alive and count them as her siblings, right? And she says, right, And then she said, my sister and my brother, and in the churchyard cottage I dwell near them with my mother. Right? She says that my sister and brother, they are in the churchyard cottage, they're lying there, and I live with my mother here. Right? And then the poet wondered that why she is including the deaths one, right, in the counting them as alive. And then he said that you said that two at Conway dwell and two are gone to sea, yet ye are seven. I pray you tell, sweet maid, how this may be. He wondered that two are die and then you are counting them and you say you are seven. How this is possible? Explain me. And then did the little maid reply, 7 boys and girls are we, 2 of us in the churchyard lay beneath the churchyard tree. Again she stick to her concept and she's just including the dad's one and still said that we are 7 and 2 of us are lying in the churchyard beneath the churchyard tree, means in the graves, right? And then you run about, my little maid. Then the poet said that you run about. It's a metaphor for living, right? You run about, my little maid. He's saying that you are counting the dead ones, right? Your limbs, they are alive. If two are in the churchyard laid, if two are died, then how you are 7? Then ye are only 5. Then you are 5 in counting, right? And then the maid, the little girl, she said, their graves are green, they may be seen. The little maid replied, right? So the green is a color, right? The green color is used for spring, living, right? She still considered them alive, the her siblings who are dead, right? And then for others the grave of sin, but her eyes, they are seen, her siblings, right? And then 12 steps or more from my mother's door and they are side by side, right? 12 steps from her house, their graves are there, means they are lying side by side in their graves, right? And then she proceed on by saying that my stockings there I often need, right? And for her they are not dead, as I already told you that. She said in my stockings there I often need. She's often been to that graveyard, right? And then knitting her stockings, my handkerchief there I hem, and there upon the ground I sat and sing a song for them, right? She goes there, sing a songs for them, right? And often after sunset saw, when it is light and fair, I take my little porrinja and eat my supper there, right? Again sunset refers to death, and she says that I often go there at sunset, right, when it is light and fair. You may wonder, if it is sunset, then where the light came from, right? So it refers to moonlight. It's night and it's the moon is full, right? Full moon, and it's light and fair. She goes her with her supper, which is dinner, right? Her dinner, and eat there. And then she's describing the dead siblings, that who are there, right? One is a brother and another is a sister. And she says that the first that died was sister Jane, her sister Jane, whose name is Jane. In bed she mourning lay, right? She was suffering from a disease and she was in the bed mourning, right, with pain, and God will release her of her pain, right? And God has released her of her pain or disease or whatever she is suffering from. And then she went away, she died, right? So in the churchyard she laid, and when the grass was dry, so grass was dry in autumn, it show fall, death, right? Death of leaves, right? Shedding of leaves. And then together round her grave we played. With her they used to play, right? And then she played with her brother, my brother John and I, right? She and her brother John, they played, But after some time her brother John also died, and she is saying that, and when the ground was white with snow, when it was winter, and I could run and slide, right? They were sliding, playing, it was winter, and my brother John was forced to go. And then her brother John, he was forced to go, he also died, and he lays by her side, right? And then the poet again asked, how many are you? Then said I, if they are in heaven, means they are dead, they are in heaven, how many are you now? And then quick was the little maid's reply, oh master, we are 7. She is again stick to her concept that they are not died, and still she is counting them and said we are 7, right?